EA has just dropped their first official details on Madden 25. We got a gameplay deep dive. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Madden 25 comes out August 12th. So it's really not that far away. It's getting ready to come out. And we're finally starting to get some details because they really haven't told us much. So we got some gameplay here, and they do talk about quite a bit of things here in this deep dive. I know they put out a little video talking about some stuff. I watched it, and I'll be honest, they really didn't say nothing in it that we already didn't know. They didn't really break nothing down. But in this little post right here that they posted on their page, they talk about a lot of stuff. And I'm going to break all this down because nobody wants to read all this. I'm going to read it all. And I'm going to break it down for you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into this. One of the biggest things that they're focusing on with Madden 25 is this right here, Boom Tech. This is like the new thing that they're trying to promote. They said they've been working on it for a couple years. And the whole point of it is so that tackling is more like user controlled, more like you have control of all the outcomes that could happen, instead of like, you know, more things that feel like animation scripted. So where, like, for example, like, oh, this is a predetermined animation. It's more like they want it to be like more natural stuff that's happening, and kind of lower the, you know, the predetermined animations on tackling, and just, you know, the outcomes between a ball carrier and a defender making contact. That's kind of like the biggest thing, and that's basically what they talk about here. And they don't really, they do break it down, but that's kind of what this first intro is, just talking about how the focus was ball carriers interacting with tacklers. So how the system pretty much work is, there is a kind of, you know how like with passing in Madden, you got to time to pass. So now with your hit sticks, you have to time them, and if you time it correctly, you're going to get a boomstick, you know what I mean, which could have, cause a fumble, and basically you got to time your hit sticks. That's one of the things. Another one of the things is that height and weight are going to matter a lot more now. For example, let's say I got Jordan Poyer in the box, and I got him having to shoot the gap and tackle Derrick Henry one-on-one. Not happening. Derrick Henry is going to pretty much break the tackle with that because of the height and weight difference and all that stuff. So that stuff is going to play a lot more of a factor. Supposedly, that's what they say, so we'll see. So right here, they talk about some brand new abilities that they've added. We got Tireless Runner, Extra Pop, Steamroller, and Form Tackler. All these abilities don't look like anything crazy. I'll read the description. Tireless Runner, stamina reduction has no impact on ball carriers' ability to rebalance on broken tackles. You know what I mean? You read it, you hear it. All right, doesn't sound like anything too crazy. Extra pop, increased chance to create a fumble with a perfect hit stick. So it just sounds like a way better avalanche. Because like I said, you have to time your hit stick. So it's like, I guess if you have this ability on and you get like, let's say you get a green on your hit stick, it doesn't say it's going to create a fumble, but it says it creates a higher chance. So, you know what I mean? It's just basically sounds like avalanche. Steamroller, as a ball carrier, significantly harder to be bumped off current path when running at full speed. Just basically sounds like, you break tackles more. I don't know. The descriptions are always so vague with these abilities. That's one thing I always hate about Madden, even the college game. They're so vague with the description. Just tell me the exact thing that happens and how I get the shit to activate. The last ability is Form Tackler. The ideal tackle timing window is easier to hit. So it just sounds like a new version of Secure Tackler. Now, we don't know if we're going to still have Secure Tackler. We don't know if we're going to still have some of these other abilities that we've had before, because there's new tackling mechanics. You got to time your tackles. You got to time your hit sticks. As a runner, though, it doesn't seem like there's anything you have to time. You just got to hope the defense kind of messes up, or if you got the bigger player and he's got more momentum, that hopefully he just, runs over him. That's kind of what it sounds like. I also talk about with the new hit stick mechanic, there's going to be like a feedback. So like, when you pass the ball, there's like a little feedback, like, oh, you were under pressure, or, it was inaccurate or stuff like that. It's going to be the same thing with the hit stick. It's going to have like a little like feedback thing with all that stuff. So that's really the thing they focus on the most, was tackling. So we'll see. We'll see how good it really works. I don't know. We'll see. So for this next section right here, they talk about new running animations as a ball carrier. There's a bunch of new stuff they talk about. One of the key things they said somewhere in here was when you're running through the hole, your running back will actually get skinny. Like, what running backs do when they're running through the hole, they get skinny to try to avoid tacklers and stuff like that. They also said some players will brace for impact on, I guess, certain stuff. So I think there's actually like a trait for that. It's been in Madden for a while where like it's like player braces for hits or something like that. So I guess like that's actually going to become like a thing now. So, you know, we'll see. I always say we'll see after all this stuff, because there's been so many times we've seen EA, you know, show off a lot of this stuff, and like it just, a lot of it doesn't even like play a factor and doesn't really matter. And I'm not like trying to hate on or anything like that, because I think Madden 24 is actually a really good game, in my opinion. I'm just saying, like, I don't get my hopes up a lot of this stuff, because some of the stuff they talk about, like, remember last year we had the animation where the quarterback was going to do the dive throw, and we never saw this shit once. For skill moves right here, they actually talk about some pretty crazy stuff. So they say that they have added hundreds of new jukes, spins, and high steps into the game. That's a lot, I'll be honest. And I first hear that, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. No way you added hundreds of them. And then you read on and they talk about there's a new mechanic where you can essentially, if you hold RT or R2 and you flick down on the right stick, it enters this setup state, which will allow you to chain a combo of moves together to try to, you know, break the defender. Like, now, it almost counts, you know, sounds so similar to 2K, where you can, you know, combine dribble moves and, you know, do stuff like that. That's kind of what it sounds similar a little bit to. But now I guess you do that, and you'll be able to, you know, do like some type of button combo, and it'll do some crazy juke or spin like that. And yeah, we don't really know. This is something that's going to have to be kind of verbally explained and showed at the same time. So, yeah, right here it kind of says back right juke to spin, flick right stick down to the right, then roll the right stick down and around the opposite direction. And apparently it's going to do something. I wish this kind of showed, you know, this would be nice if this was like a little mini GIF or something, you know. Essentially, though, that's just a little breakdown of one of the combos you'll be able to do. So, I'm sure in the little trailer video they showed, it promoted some of that. I'm not going to go back and watch it. I'll be honest, I really don't care. Just they're gonna put something out where they verbally explain it with like a little video. So whenever that happens, that happens. Right here they talk about how different running backs, you're gonna notice a different style of running from them. They talk about Pacheco, McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. They talk about how maybe like their arms, you notice their arms move around when they run the ball and stuff like that. So we'll see, because, you know, I feel like in Madden, it always looks like guys run really stiff. I feel like Madden just looks very stiff. You know, when you look at the college game, it looks very different. Madden looks very stiff. Even like you notice the gameplay that they just showed off. You see how much slower the game looks than college, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just one of the problems of Madden is it just feels so stiff. And I get it, the college and the Madden, you know, it has to play differently, but there's no reason they gotta make this game feel stiff. This next section, it's not really related to anything crazy. It is a gameplay thing. So basically, they're trying to make it more realistic to when some type of audibles or changes go out the line. They're making it to where the players on the field would actually do what they do in real life. So for example, if their offensive line is shifting a certain way, or they're trying to pick up a blitz, you'll see the center do something like, hey, this is what we're doing. So they're just making it to where, like, whatever adjustments are being made on the field, the players are actually reacting like that on the field, doing what they would do in a real game. So I guess it's a pretty cool thing to, you know, see them do, but doesn't probably really affect anything really in the gameplay department. This is a pretty big statement by them. Catching innovation. They're saying, whatever, so when you're going to catch the ball, you know, sometimes you click on, you try to extra rack catch it, A to possession catch it, Y to aggressive to catch it. Sometimes you feel like you didn't really get the animation you wanted there, like especially with possession catch, you'll notice that sometimes, or just anything in general. They're saying this year, whatever button you hit, if you Y catch it, if you X catch it, if you A catch it, you will get what you want, which is a pretty big thing, because for the longest, man, like, we're not even for the longest, I would say the last like 2 years, I feel like it's been really inconsistent in giving you what the hell you actually press sometimes. Like, I would say 23 and 24. So hearing that is some really good news. But at the same time, you gotta show me it, because so many times they have said this stuff, man, and I just don't feel like, you know, they lived up to what they said. If this stands though, and this actually ends up, you know, working out, this is great for the game moving forward. They even talk about, for example, if it's like a low throw and you hit Y catch it, you're still somehow going to get like that animation, which is pretty crazy. They talk about 700 new catching animations they add. And they always talk about like so many animations they add. But every year you see the same fucking animation. So it's like, where are all these other animations you guys, you know, added? Like, I feel like you never actually see them. They are adding a new catching animation this year. You know, you hit A, possession, X, Y. We already explained that. There's going to be a new button you can press down and catch. It's going to be called like a spectacular catch. If you hit LB, This will allow you to get the one-hand catch animation, which if you watch the little video they dropped, you'll see they promoted that heavily. And I would say that's really the only like new feature they were. Well, they showed the offensive line thing, but like that and the right stick, but none of it's a new feature because we just seen it in the college. But the LB thing is a brand new feature, so that's an option where you can catch it with one hand. Now we don't know how viable that's really ever going to be. I feel like it's going to be more of a thing just to, you know, look cool. I don't know. Maybe it could come in clutch for some type of possession catches and stuff. We'll have to see. We don't really know how good it's going to be. So they also talk about how you can actually combine the one-hand catch. So if you want to do a one-hand possession catch, it'll be LBA. Same thing with rack and aggressive. So like I said, we don't know, like, is this going to give you, who knows, like this thing could be broken. Maybe it'll give you like some wild ass catching boost where you ag the shit out of people. Or this mechanic could just literally never be used. We'll just have to see when the game drops. The next section is they're talking about blocking. It's the brand new blocking mechanic. It's in the college game. There's like a lot of different blocking stuff you could do. I'm not really going to go over it. If you have COS 25, boot the game up and you can literally see it, mess around with it. I'm not really going to explain it. If you don't have COS 25, then oh well. This next section is all about playbooks they talk about. So they talk about how they're adding new plays, formations, etc., etc. They talk about that every year. But the biggest thing they talk about is live playbooks. I don't remember what Madden they added live playbooks. They actually kind of updated them a little bit, but then they just kind of gave up on that whole thing. Apparently this year they're trying to, you know, make live playbooks a thing again. If you don't know what that are, it was basically an NFL team has their live playbook, and the playbook would get updated throughout the year for what like that team is actually running and stuff. And they kind of gave up on the whole thing. Apparently, I guess they're gonna try to bring it back this year and like really update it. We'll see. But one of the biggest things they talk about is Audibles will be able to be saved this year. Every game you got to do your Audibles. So you got to burn like, you know, however much time. Nobody feels like doing that before every single game. Now you're not going to have to do it anymore. You will be able to pre-save your Audibles, which is really big. The only catch is, though, it's not going to be in the game off the rip. They said it's going to be a post-launch thing, which I don't understand why the hell this can't be something in the game off the rip. I don't understand it, but yeah. And they also do talk about you will no longer be allowed to be able to use custom playbooks and online regs, which I didn't even know that was a thing. That's kind of crazy, but you can't do anymore. But we will be able to save our Audibles in Madden 25. That is something we have been asking for years. Not off the rip, though, so we don't know when it's going to get added, but it'll be added eventually sometime in this game. The new kickoff rules will be in Madden 25. If you live under a rock, the NFL has changed their kickoff rules completely. It's supposed to be similar to the XFL or whatever that goddamn league's called. It's going to be pretty crazy. I do expect a lot of kickoff touchdowns to happen in the beginning of the year because it's a pretty crazy rule. All right, so this looks kind of like the last thing right here. It looks like they talk about some abilities and stuff that have been changed. Hot route update. The basic route tree will now be available by default. So post, corner, as well as custom stints below. Hot route abilities will now only be needed to unlock exotic routes. So we can put post routes and corner routes now as normal hot routes. If you played college football 25, every quarterback has hot route master. It doesn't look like Madden we're getting every route, but we're getting post routes and corner routes, which for the most part is kind of, you know, really the only stuff we used for hot routes. That is definitely, that's a pretty big thing. So it's interesting to see what routes I guess we'll get from hot route master, because they're clearly still going to have that. X Factor Superstar ability updates. KO abilities. It's a big thing. These abilities are now far less likely to force knockouts late in a catch or after a catch has already been secured. This is a big thing. KOs are good for Madden. Whether you like it or not, they are. Because zones and the way defenders react are so goddamn bad in the game. That's why KOs have been needed, to improve their reaction and just breaking up passes. So, whether you like it or not, they're good for the game. Hearing this is very interesting. You know, this could be a good change, I think. You know, maybe making them to where they still do what they're supposed to do, but not making them as overpowered. So, this could be a good change. We'll see. You know, this is something we're going to have to see play out. We're not going to know till the game drops, because all this shit they say is so vague. They never say exactly what something, just say exactly what it does. It's always a vague thing. So we'll see how it plays. We're not going to see off the rip, because we're not going to get KOs till, You know, I'm thinking like maybe like October we start getting like some deep out zones and shit. Maybe like late September, mid September. You know, really like to October though. That's not when we're and then it's not. We're not even gonna see that many KOs. It'll be like a deep out zone or something like that. You know what I mean? Next ability they talk about is Secure Protector. The ability is no longer guaranteed to counteract competing pass rusher abilities. So it sounds like Secure Protector is worse, which in my opinion it was already ass in Madden 24, because to be fair though, you had all them damn D linemen with built-in X Factor abilities. So but hearing that it's gonna get even worse is definitely not, it's not really something I wanted to hear, so that doesn't sound good. Unstoppable Force is the X Factor. This ability now performs better versus play action. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I mean, it's an X Factor, so, you know, we don't really want to see that, you know, as a light up or a, you know, built on. So I don't, you know, it's kind of whatever, I guess. Inside stuff and no outsiders. These abilities will no longer function if the defense team uses pass commit. This, I don't like this at all. And the reason why is because there is certain RPOs or just certain plays in general where you have to pass commit. Like mostly like certain RPOs and stuff where you have to pass commit, or else your fucking DBs will not, you know, play shit. Which is why you had inside stuff and no outsiders, because those guys will still react and do their thing, and you know what I mean. So hearing that they're not going to do that anymore, the RPO defense just better be fucking good on this game, because from what I've heard in the beta, it's not. It still plays really bad like Madden 24. So if that's the case, that's gonna be a bad change. I'm really hoping when the game drops that is the RPO defense is better, because that's not gonna be good, man. I'm telling you right now. Cephy lead and pass elite, reduced pass velocity bonus. That's gonna be really interesting. Like, how much is it gonna get reduced? Because I've said it for the longest. I feel like something that would help, you know, zones and just DBs reacting and stuff is taking velocity abilities actually out of the game, because you know the way they've made this game, those abilities shouldn't be in the game. The DBs don't react fast because the ball just moves way faster than how the DBs are supposed to react and stuff, which is why we have had to have KOs, because it's been the only way to pretty much counter Cephy lead and pass the lead. So hearing that it's going to get reduced, I'm interested to see, you know, how much, you know what I mean. So I mean, because I feel like, what's the balance there? How do you balance reducing that? You know what I mean? Next up, we got pass coverage improvements. This isn't really much of an ability. This is more of just some coverage stuff. Improved rally to the flats to make them react quicker to checkdowns. That's something I like to hear, but gotta see it. You gotta show me it. New cover 3 match check versus non-bunch formations called Skinny, which focuses on the backside hook curl to help the crossing route coming across the field. I don't run match, so I don't know show. I don't know nothing about match concepts. I don't know anything about match principles. I blitz. All right, that's we blitz, bam, blitz. That's what we do around here. So I don't know shit about anything about none of that. Improvements to base cover 2, cover 3, and cover 4. Tampa 2 has a new zone that does not does not match, called the curl zone, and is used on base. Okay, Tampa 2 plays that don't include a blitz mean to avoid underneath defenders from matching. Okay, this sounds like more match concepts. Improved the drop depths and locations on curl flat and hook curl players to better carry vertical routes on cover 3. A lot of this stuff doesn't really complement my defense, I'll be honest, because the way I play, just hearing this shit, just, you know what I mean? It just sounds like a lot of match concept shit. I just don't run match. I really don't. I run a lot of zone. Man coverage tuning to improve how defenders read wide receiver cut moves out. Don't tell me they're making this shit better. Man coverage meta is a bad meta. You saw it end down Madden 24. RPO defense improvements. Goddamn, this is what I want to fucking hear. Defenders aligned over receivers will read their keys and priorities, pass responsibilities over playing the run. Thank fucking God. This is music to my ears, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm not getting my hopes up till I see it, because I gotta see it to believe it. Because that is, y'all are making a big statement. I don't know if y'all, I don't know. Perimeter defenders will become more aggressive in shedding blocks by receivers. And you know what's so funny? Like, when you go back to Madden 23, the RPO defense was perfect Like, if you told a guy what to do, he was going to do it. So now, like, this isn't new shit now. They're just fixing the shit that they broke. Because that's how it used to be. If I put a 0-yard fucking cloud flat out there, and you were throwing, like, you know, one of those RPOs to the very outside receiver, the shit was getting picked six. Like, dead ass. So, like, I'm not going to be like, okay, like, they're just fixing that shit, man. You know, it never should have been messed up in the first place. The last thing right here is defense read and react was tuned to increase box defenders' awareness reaction to the handoff. So, I'm guessing, for example, if it's an RPO, but your box linebackers are in the middle, they're going to play the handoff more than get to the outside. I don't know. Vague. It's all vague. It's all vague. We can't just say what the fuck we mean. We gotta talk in fucking riddles. Why, man? Just be like, hey, if the quarterback's handing the ball off on the RPO, the backers are going to worry about the running back more. That's how you fucking explain it. That's pretty much it. The last thing they talk about is they got the new kick meter mechanic. It's the same as college football. You can change the kick meter, but in online, it's going to be exactly how it is in college football with the crazy shit, which I'm fine with that because it does bring a skill gap to kicking and it doesn't make it easy. So I honestly do not have a problem with that. The last thing they talk about is the new read option mechanic. It's the same as college football. It's basically backwards now. Before, you had to hold A to hand it off to the running back. If you press nothing, your quarterback would keep it. Now it's the opposite way. If you press nothing, the running back gets it. If you hold A, the quarterback keeps it. So it's just backwards. At first, it's going to throw you off a little bit, but after playing college football for a while now, I'm pretty much used to it. So it's not really big of a deal. I don't really know why they changed it. Maybe because it, you know, creates, I don't want to say a little bit of a skill gap, but because once you run it enough, you're pretty much used to it. So, but overall, this whole deep dive, the stuff they talked about, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff they talk about in here. But that's my thing. They talk about it. They talk about, you know, better RPO defense. They talk about you know, some changes to abilities. Some sound good. Some sound questionable. Overall, I think there was a lot. They talked about a lot of good. I like a lot of the stuff they talk about. Like I said, I think Madden 24 was a good Madden, and a lot of the stuff I'm hearing, I think Madden 25 is going to build off of, and it should be even better Madden. It really should. So I think Madden is just getting better and better. You got to think, like, with this whole next gen movement, it set them back a whole lot. You know, 22 was really bad. 23 improved off that a lot. 24 I think is the best overall one we've seen so far, and it's only just going to keep getting better. You know what I mean? I don't see it, you know, getting worse. I really don't. I'm definitely excited for this game to come out. You already know we're gonna be grinding MUT. Can't wait for that. College football, I gotta say, I started out grinding cut heavy, but those game breaking glitches that happened have really kind of killed my vibe for it because my team is so fucking ass compared to everybody else's, and it's also like really hard to make coins on that game. Like, Seasons is so fucking bad for making coins. Mud Champs didn't even give out, I think I got like 18, 19 wins, and I didn't even get the right rewards. I also missed the gauntlet because I didn't realize it was only for the weekend. I tried to play it on Monday, or whenever the fuck, today, Monday, I don't know when it did. I tried to play it, didn't even let me because I didn't know there was you can only play it on the fucking weekend. So, it's just really hard to make coins on cut. Like, even if you're winning most of your games, like, I was number 29 on the leaderboard at one point. I kind of just haven't really been playing it as much, and I'm just like, I don't know, like, it's just so fucking hard to make coins on this shit. So I don't know, I'm just kind of been whatever. I've been playing a lot of Dynasty. I gotta say that I'm actually hooked on that. I didn't think I would be because, you know, I'm not really a big offline guy, but it's actually pretty good. So I've actually been, you know, I'm from Delaware, so, you know, I'm a UD guy. I like the VTech. VTech is like my second favorite college team because, you know, Mike Vick and all that stuff. But UD, the Blue Hens, is really where I reside, and they're not actually in the game, but my boy showed me on TikTok that somebody actually made the Blue Hens. Like, they got the stadium, they got the jerseys. I was like, what? So I went and downloaded it, checked it out. Now, it gives you like a random ass roster. So what I went ahead and did was I actually I picked the shit fucking roster because I'm like, okay, I gotta pick up, because, you know, the Blue Hens, we fucking suck. We're terrible. We're a fucking shit team. So I'm like, I gotta pick a fucking ass roster. So I think I went ahead and picked Ball State's roster because it seemed kind of similar. It's fucking dog shit. It's like a one-star school. And I've actually been doing that. I'm in my first season right now. I think I'm going to, like, drop some videos on it because it seems like it's been pretty entertaining. We've been doing that over on stream. So, yeah, let me know if you guys want to see that. I think I'm going to drop a little video of it. Because another thing for me is, like, I didn't think I would get too much enjoyment out of the whole recruiting thing. Because, you know, the recruiting thing is, like, a huge fucking part of the Dynasty. and I've actually enjoyed it. Now, granted, no fucking recruits want to come to my school, but you know, it's actually kind of fun. I can't lie. And then actually going out there getting our ass kicked is actually really fun too. I think we're like fucking 3-3. We just lost our last game 7-35. So we're getting fucking off topic. This is the Madden 25 deep dive. You know, they're probably gonna keep getting more information out. I'm only gonna talk about information that's like big and worth talking about. This was actually worth talking about. I didn't think it was going to be, because at first I thought we were just gonna get the little video, and I was like, I watched it. I'm like, yo, this doesn't do anything for me. But then I saw the little deep dive, and I was like, okay, this is actually some pretty big stuff. So I thought I talked about it, give my opinions. You guys let me know what you think about this. I think it's a lot of good stuff they talk about. But they talk about it. It's my key word with these guys. They talk about it. They gotta show me it. So we'll see. You know, obviously when the game comes out. And for you guys that played the beta, you can't be like, well, this is how the beta was, this is how the beta was. The beta never plays how the game actually drops. That's why I never care about the beta. I'm not a beta guy. I don't care. It doesn't do anything for me. I had a beta code, didn't even download it, because it doesn't do anything for me. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's not gonna do nothing for me. So that's pretty much all I got for you guys today, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, man, drop a like. Sub to the channel if you're not already subbed for more Madden 25 content. And also let me know down in the comments, do you want to see this University of Delaware Dynasty? I'm thinking about dropping a video a little bit later. We'll see. You guys let me know down in the comments. That'll definitely help me. Let me know. Till the next time, though, man. I'll see you guys in the next one.